Hello, my name is Hee-Jae, and let's talk about the Bible. Ooh, I am so excited today because we are moving on to a new subject, a new passage. Everything's new. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, the butterflies are out, the flowers are in bloom, but actually it's dark outside, real late, it's winter, but there's snow. 우와, 미끄럽지. Anyways, we're moving on to a new subject, and I have chosen a parable in the New Testament in Luke chapter 10, verse 25 to 37. Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's known as the parable of the Good Samaritan. I don't know how long this session will be. The last one on Rebecca was 9, but I don't know. It might be a little bit shorter. It might be longer, but I doubt it'll be longer because it's a shorter passage. So it'll probably be a little bit shorter. So we'll get through this in a jiffy. Anyways, the reason why I wanted to talk about this passage, the parable of the Good Samaritan, is because I find that, especially internationally, even in domestic politics, we find ourselves stretched. The notion of our neighbor has become tested in today's times. And so I want to go deep into these passages and really find out what Jesus is saying to the people, the experts of law. In verse 25 it says, on one occasion an expert in the law stood up to test Jesus. Teacher, he asked, what must I do to inherit eternal life? Now this question of what must I do to inherit eternal life has been asked in other Gospels also. In Matthew and even in Mark, Matthew chapter 22, the same question is asked. In Mark chapter 12, the same question is asked. But the funny thing is, in Luke, after this person, this expert in the law, stood up to Jesus and asked this question, Jesus answers it almost identically to the other books, but afterwards he goes into the parable of the Good Samaritan. We will be examining this passage from a lot of different dimensions, from the audience, from the viewpoint of the writer, the viewpoint of Jesus, the experts of law, the disciples who would be listening on this conversation. And all these will accumulate into a gem of understanding. And with that gem of understanding, we can enrich our relationship with God. So, starting from tomorrow, we're going to be diving right in. So read up on Luke chapter 10, verse 25 to 37. And let's have some fun. This is how I do my Bible studies. Come along for the ride. Subscribe and leave a comment below. See you guys on the other side. Bye bye.